Hello, everybody. This is Bart Sharp, and you are on Becoming Quantum Conscious on United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network, broadcasting out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Also on Roku Cable Television, X, Facebook, YouTube, and the UPRN Talk Radio website. And we are so glad that you're here tonight. I'm very grateful for this show. This is my 100th show. Who would have thought? I've had so much joy doing this show every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. And wow, it's really changed my life in a lot of ways because um, it's all about a message, it's all about service. And like today's topic, it's all about love because love is that higher vibrational quality out there. And so today we are going to talk about love in various forms, situations. And once again, I am by myself. So I got to be manning everything from the chats to everything like that, which might be a great thing. So I hope people will come in, and we'll be reading these comments on notes, actually, like I'm a reporter or something, and also ad-libbing because that is my natural state is to ad-lib. I love to ad-lib. And also we may be doing activations and energetic clearings using the tools of access consciousness. So if you start to hear these weird words, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, that is a clearing statement that just clears energies. You know, it's a really interesting time, this time, in that there's chaos, there's doubt, there's hope, there's indecision, there's fear, there's possibilities, all of that in one big bundle. And I was thinking, well, what can I do with this for this 100th show, and also just being a human being that wants to participate in the change and awakening that I believe this planet and people on this planet are experiencing. We talk about love and all of these many facets of love, of what love is. And up front, I wanted to thank Bell Hooks with this great book called All About Love. She's who I got the title from and some of my information from. Great book, Bell Hooks, BELLEHOOKS. Great author. And we'll just get started. It's going to be, I'm kind of excited about this show. Well, I'm always excited about the shows, but this one, uh, I was really excited, even to the point of like waking up in the middle of the night thinking about all about love notes. Sending love notes, yes, indeed. And this is a 4-page love note to everybody out there. So it starts out with love is an energy or vibration. The higher your vibration goes, the more it generates, and something that the best definition is love. Now, this came into me one day when I was driving down the road in France at a Stargate mountain where there's a lot of ET spirits about, and this voice says, love is just like a vibration, and you keep getting lighter and lighter. It is a quality we become or evolve to as an energetic vibrational being. And that's the whole transition. Do you go from the mind and the brain and all the concepts of your past and start looking at life, start looking at the love within as a vibration? It's the energetic element that makes love what it is, even if we don't recognize it, even if we're not even aware of that scheme of things. It's still happening energetically in our body. And just think about when you go to a movie, and movies are really good because you're sitting with lots of people generally, and you're all having the same experience. And let's just say for a fact that you go to a inspiring movie, one that opens everybody up in their heart, and you go, wow, my heart is so big right now. I feel so good. And if you would have saw that movie at home by yourself, it would not have had the same experience. Same movie, same plot, same actors, but there's something about when people get together and we just magnify everything, it gets bigger and more profound. And that's why we go to movies, so we can all share the same experience together and open it and magnify it. So just think about one of those great movies, and when you walk out and you're just open and you're wide, that is just one of the beginning examples of what love is, of that vibrational aspect of what love. That's how I started learning it, is through just that concept of going, well, what the heck happened there at that movie theater? Uh, and that's how it is. The higher vibration we become, our perception of what love is evolving along with it. What it can be grows, and it is easier to detach from what is not love. We simply see how lesser loving actions do not work when we start to understand what the vibration of love is, what we feel. It goes beyond our mind. It starts to begin in our heart, but it also is in the rest all of our body. And as a result, we begin to see the world differently. We see the world according to the vibration we are vibrating as. If we are higher, we likely see the potentials and possibilities because we have arisen above the fears and anger most are reacting or resisting to. That type of stuff muddles up their perception because they're in resistance and reaction, and they're in a lower vibrational scheme. However, possibilities of how it can grow are more in our awareness when we start to do that dance. It gives us sort of a grace. The more we see others in lower vibrational beliefs, if we have a higher vibrational belief, it's easier to detach from them and do something of a higher action, which is give them compassion. Detachment with compassion. One of the basic 101 courses in Buddhism, by the way. Even if you are in a confrontation, it is not done in a negative context of anger or fear, but in compassion. It's a great gauge of how you're evolving with your love, is that when you are in crisis, do you act in a samurai-like fashion, which is detached, the noble warrior that has love in his heart? You might cut your head off, but he'll do it in a loving way. Or like Jesus, who might not cut your head off, but will approach you in a loving way. All the masters do all of those things. Nothing can be a substitute of the love within us. We may go out and buy a new car, a home, relationship, but it is a nice diversion. Our inner compass does not change due to the material gain. Our love is steady and pleasant to have, but is not expanded more due to what we gain in acquisitions, materials, physical gratification. Those are just pleasant. And I love a good meal as much as the other person, but it does not enlighten me. It does not expand me. It arouses me. And that's a big difference in what is important in love, is knowing the difference between the two. If we begin to feel more alive or excited when we are in the process of something or doing a higher purpose, our love will resonate and grow along with our progress. So examples for me are this radio show, shamanic work, loving relationships that support, meditations, doing France tours. What they do for me is what they all have in common is it's an expansion of consciousness. Something always grows when I do those type of things. Something inside of me, something that might be in communion with another person, that we're having the same experience. That's how it works with love. If you're doing something that interacts and grows, you're on that path. If you're just trying to get gratification, maybe not so much. And it's really important to understand that difference. It's one of the common themes in the world or on the show, and also in the world, that people are, I think, having a lot of confusion with. That safety and gratification, acquisition of things is going to give them what they need. And they may label it under safety or, gee, this is really fun, but it's not love. It's not the expansion of your vibration. It's something else. And that's it. Substitutes never really fulfill us. They're substitutes. We know we're in love. No, excuse me, let me say that again. We know we are it or love when the internal perspective is fulfilled continually, being fulfilled. Our inner love grows bigger. In other words, when something inside of us grows or becomes more expanded, when we are in the act of something that benefits our vibrational being, benefits our love consciousness, it will expand inside of us. And this is kind of a litmus test. If it's light and it grows inside of you, it's right. This is a great thing to follow. It is our truth meter, so to speak. If it's light, it's right. If it's heavy, it's probably not it. And this is a great example that we should follow all of life with. What is fulfilled love like? It is a visceral instead of a mental. We feel something lighter in our heart that affirms a positive power inside that cares and is nurturing to us. And it may go out to others, but most importantly, it fulfills something in us. Love has to fulfill internally as the priority. It doesn't mean that you do everything that way. You may be serving others or helping others or nurturing, caring for others, loving others. But there's always a resonance that benefits you, that helps you grow in that process. Giving and receiving are the same. This is a quote from Course in Miracles, of course. It is there, love, not because of a reason. It vibrates there all the time and goes beyond the heart and eventually to a whole body awareness, but also out into your energetic fields and so forth and so on. This is probably the most real thing that we are. And the lighter it gets, the more profound it is. It's not there. And this is the beginning. It is learning what a higher vibration is like inside of you. Then it expands and we learn how to transform the parts of us that are not vibrating this frequency, like anger held in our gut. We can literally approach repressed emotions by feeling those repressed emotions in our gut or in our heart or spleen, liver, lungs, wherever they're at. And we can take the vibration that we know is love inside of us, which for most people begins in their heart, And they shine that light onto the dense area when it is activated. In other words, when you're feeling the anger inside of you, that is the time to do anger work and to vibrate a higher love in your heart to that place in your body. Almost like a stream of light going to your gut, for example. And it will change the anger in your body. And your heart energetically will become stronger. You're basically telling your body that the love can heal and cure yourself, basically. And it's a wonderful approach to go at. You can change a lot in your life just with that one simple technique. But the first step is you have to know what the light of love feels like in your heart. That is first step. And it's so easy. It's almost like turning on a flashlight in your heart and having it shine out. And the more you practice having that light, it becomes visceral, it becomes lighter. You're basically teaching your body what your body already knows. You're actually teaching your mind what your body is actually functioning as, because all of this is dictated or initiated by your mind, but you're using your body to do the energetic activations. The more the body knows the lighter forms of energy that we call love, the more the mind acclimates to it and starts to function from that place. Doesn't happen overnight, trust me. The mind is full of different paradigms that want to go into thinking, go into old habits of using emotions in negative ways or dysfunctional ways, sabotaging ways, whatever. But this is a great technique to move. So let's get into some of the higher qualities of love. And we're moving right along here. Wow, this is certainly fun. So as I'm doing this show, I am really paying attention to my heart and just shining that out and asking it to get as big as the world. And does your heart get as big as the world? Well, like, heck yeah, it does. We have that capabilities, and it's really funny as we evolve and I see other people evolving. This is not some strange concept. This is something of that tons of people are realizing, and I'm getting feedback from other people go, it just feels like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And that's mainly because more of us are believing and practicing having a love, having a heart that vibrates a higher vibration that we call love, and sending it out throughout their house, throughout their neighborhood, to friends, to those struggling, to countries, to everywhere around the world. You can do it. It is that easy. You are that strong, big, powerful, and most likely, and most importantly, a strong love vibration. So, higher qualities of love are a vibration we feel internally. I think we've covered that. But it keeps getting lighter and smaller, more minute. It's like all the molecules are vibrating white light. That to me would be somebody like Buddha or Jesus. They would be totally that way, and also in all their energetic bodies, places they are in other dimensions, realities. All of it would be in communion together as a totally present being, all directed in that way. That is the game. That's what we're working for, folks. So it's a big vibration, goes many places. Love has components of joy. I like the John Bradshaw definition of love, which is Love is the perception that everything is complete inside of you or in your life. Now, of course, it doesn't always feel complete all the time. I remember my first joy experience when I was getting into the consciousness uh, intention. I was taking Al Anon, reading tons of books, writing, journaling, and I was going through a divorce, which was in the separation stage. And I was asking for answers. I was trying to understand what the heck happened in that marriage that I thought was going to be lasting all my life. I found the answer. It came to me in a spontaneous way when I was up in the woods on a cliffside, meditating and reading and writing. Pop! I got to truth. It's my own form of truth. It's not the truth for everybody. It's not even important anybody knows the story. But something jumped in me. My vibration jumped. I felt like everything was okay for me that day. Beyond okay, everything was joy that day. Everything felt complete, even though I had debts, still had a divorce to deal with, dealing with the grieving of a separation from a wife, and a long list of other issues and confrontations I was dealing with. But for that moment, I had the truth, and that expanded me into joy for a couple of days. It just felt complete. I had a big smile on my face. Now, as the years gone by, I have jumped into joy experiences. It's like a big peak, and you're in that peak, and then you kind of level off, and then you might feel like you go down, but you never really forget that experience. You lived it, you earned that place. Then you may be confronted with other things. You're searching for answers, and you might find another peak, and then another, and another, as you work on this consciousness uh, exploration. And the joy just keeps going up and up and up, and it helps us get to these higher and higher plateaus where it's kind of normal to feel joyful, that more and more your life feels complete and whole. So joy is important. Love feels organic. There's a purity within it because love opens us to the possibilities of being in a higher vibration. Even if it's even dysfunctional, we're still living in a higher vibration. We may have problems, but the higher vibration is still there that we can lean into. We're always going to have problems. There's always different things that come up. This is what being human is about. But the more that we know the vibration of love, we can always have that as a strength. Love is always growing. It does not do as well staying the same. Love expands into more consciousness adventures. And that's the whole thing about the vibration of love and the expansion of a consciousness. It's always growing. And we look to grow more. We look to become more because we're not finished. There's a lot to become. And the humility and the sincerity that comes with that will be part of our driving force. Nobody has all the answers, folks. Sorry. So, love can be as simple as breathing into the earth. In other words, taking a big breath down, and the breath goes beyond your body all the way into the earth. And then when you release the breath, the earth seems to come up into your body, and you feel better. This is a kind of a technique that Tibetan monks and various monks do, is breathing into the earth, because it makes them always feel happy and whole and complete. So it can be just as easy as, cultivating that type of vibration, or it can be just as complex as knowing the God within. There's so many ways and things to approach in this vibrational learning journey of love. It's really fun. I feel like life would be so much less if I wasn't on this path. The more we feel a pure source, the more we want to share it, teach it. It does not burn out, even if others things do, including our life. And this is a really important part if you are looking at people going, oh, they must be vibrating a much higher vibration of love. The first question I ask, what's the energy of them really sharing it with other people? Is there a passion to share it? Because when you step into higher states of the love vibration, one of the strongest impulses is you want to share it with other people. It's something that feels so good that it has to get out there. And if people are selfish or they're kind of squinched in with their love, but they say they have all of this love, I would be skeptical. But that's just me. Because love always wants to grow. The finite aspects of mind, ego, past constructs want to find a steady state, safety, patterns, routines to make it all easier and keep us in the same type of routine and pattern. You know, that's how the brain works. Neurologically, it always wants to do the same things over and over again because it doesn't take as much work. It's more efficient. And neurologically speaking, the brain will always guide us to that. And if you're going to go on the path of love, you want to keep challenging your brain in that concept. Because growth takes more energy. But the interesting thing about it is that your heart is full of energy. Your heart is infinite, and your body is infinite, but the heart seems to be on a easier to understand path of what infinite feels like in your body. So if you have that infinite source of energy, you're not going to run out of energy if you're making your brain work harder, expand more, try new things, create more energetic exercises, try to trick it, fool it, whatever. Do things you've never done before. Have fun and play. Befuddle the brain and see where it takes you. Love feels better when it's shared. Heart to heart, eye to eye, voice to voice, energy to energy, intention to intention. And as we go into, well, what's the highest form of love? I don't even think I know that. But one thing I do know of a quality that would be there is nothingness. In other words, it would be in such a light vibration that nothingness would be there. And so we keep on getting lighter and lighter, making our cells into light, our molecules into light, the space between the molecules into light, and the space between the molecules into light. These are some of the energetic practices you can play, you can do. It's what I do. I go to power spots and move all of this stuff through my body, and it just keeps getting lighter and lighter, and the body learns it. The heart learns it, and the mind follows along. Thank God it follows along. The mind always wants to be in control, in front, and that's how most of the world works. And that keeps them in a safety zone, which is about, creating things in a physical gratification way, acquisition, And all of those things are necessary if you want to live comfortably. I love living in my home. However, I know that is secondary to what the spiritual journey is. So, we're about halfway point through the show, and I'd like to tell you that you are on Becoming Quantum Conscious at United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 107.7 and 105.3 out of New Orleans. Also on Roku, X, Facebook, YouTube, and the UPRN Talk Radio website or .com. And I am Bart Sharp, and this is Becoming Quantum Conscious, and the theme today is all about love. And we're doing a celebration as this is the 100th show of Becoming Quantum Conscious. I also do shamanic work. I'm working on a new book called The Wild Feminine Aboogarash. Hopefully will be out in 6 months. We'll see. And doing French tours. So there's a lot of stuff out there to be involved in, at least if you're living my life. So let's go to another aspect about love, and that's relationships. And most of this is taken from bell hooks all about love. Salutations to a great author, bell hooks. So relationships. Oh, this first quote, it's not bell hooks, it is Paul Coelho. Love is like a disease that no one wants to be cured of. Got to say that again, it's too juicy. Love is like a disease that no one wants to be cured of. Yet, what they have not resolved will separate them from themselves, and love in some form a sabotage. The unconsciousness of us wants to resolve this. In other words, what we've not resolved in our life with parents, relationships, previous relationships, childhood, maybe past lives, will always come back to sabotage us, not as a way to hurt us, but as a way to remind us that we still have issues. There are still things to work on, and the unconscious wants to let them go, because whatever we repressed takes a lot of energy to keep it repressed. So the body uses a form of energy that would be our innate intelligence, or some people call it innate power, to keep those things repressed. And the body doesn't really like to carry all of that stuff. You'd like to let it go, particularly if you start to say, oh, I want to do this consciousness work. I really want to be a totally free person or something like that. Well, you're just opening that can of worms, and the body will go, oh, you want to take that journey? Okay, here we go. You start getting challenges you never had before. That's how it works, folks. So I kind of said this, but I'm going to say it again. What we have not resolved with a parent, we often find someone who has characteristics like our parents as an unconscious way for us to resolve it. So if you're in a relationship or going into a relationship or have a friendship, you might want to be asking those questions. What is it that this person is, or characteristics that they have that are like my mom or my dad? You know, it's a great idea to just look at their characteristics and write them down, and then write down what you see, what your mom and dad were that you had a issue with, and see how many of them are the same. That way you can start to go, oh, this is why I unconsciously attracted that relationship. Okay, that's what it's going to present to me. That doesn't mean that you should run away from the relationship. It means that it's really good to be aware and start to go into the strategies of, how, I can do that better. What do I need to learn? And we can learn and evolve beyond any childhood limitation. And that's a good thing. that opens us up to more love. So, this is bell hooks. We have a choice in love, who and how it can be. Many miss that and let their conscious shadow, unresolved self, choose in our relationships. Or when you are attracted or becoming their friend, you might want to ask, what is it that I am attracted to them about? What qualities do they have that I'm hoping to receive in order to help me grow? What characteristics do they have that are like my parent? What roles does that place me into? Do they make me feel bigger in areas or smaller? Great questions to ask, because you want to know what the opportunity that this relationship has in there so that you can start evolving with it. We spend a lot of time and a lot of energy in relationships, and that's part of the work, but it doesn't have to be futile energy. That is what we have to evolve beyond. We may buy that love is an effortless union. We may buy that love is an effortless union, and we are searching for that. This is a misidentification. It's never effortless. I think people go, oh, this is such a safe place that I can forever go to and kind of hide away in, that all security needs were met. I'll be happy, you know. And I hear this so many people like, well, I got to find my soulmate. And mm, uh, I see love like it's a choice. It's an opportunity. It's not something that you fall in love and you kind of go into this journey and your unconsciousness takes over and you deserve to find that little happy place where you're all nestled away. Maybe some people find that and they're very lucky. But I see it more as Bell Hooks does, that is a journey of choice. And you see what this person has, where the challenges are, and you begin that journey of resolving that inside of yourself. It's big lessons for you, and it may be, hopefully, big lessons for them. So when we love by intention, and we love in this way of having that, we also are more in an opportune place to show care, respect, responsibility. And love satisfies us more internally, as opposed to, you know, a happy R&B song or a happy country and western song where, you know, we're walking on clouds and, you know, we'll never be the same again due to the love. That's probably not how it works. We may have that in a temporary state because, you know, we're getting love probably in a dysfunctional way. In other words, we may be meeting a parent figure, and I've done this before. You meet somebody that's like your mother or father, and they're so much like your mother and father. When you receive love from them, it feels wonderful because we're receiving love from a vibration or energy of another person that is very similar to the vibration or energy of a parent. And we want to get that, so unconsciously we're resolving the parent relationship and having a lot of fun with this person because they're like the parent. Of course, that is the honeymoon phase. And generally, unless those people really understand what that is and resolve the stuff with the parents, it's not going to have a happy ending because it's working in a dysfunctional term. Once again, it's an opportunity if you get really clear about what the relationship is for you. What are the lessons they have to teach you, and how are they similar to people you've not resolved things with, particularly your parents? So those are some of the games. And the more you start to get it that you have a choice in this, that it's not something that you're stuck to, or you can't find love anyplace else but this person because it was so great, uh, you kind of can let those things go. It's easy as a choice. So let's go to another part. We're moving right along on becoming quantum conscious. Uh, what is not love? There's a lot of things that are not love. First, I'm beginning with futility. Futility is the reality that something that is unpleasant, could be a relationship, an activity, a feeling, and the futility is that you believe that you will never change it. There's a hopelessness there, that you're just stuck with that feeling that you'll never change, that you're a sad person, or that you always will have to control everything, or you're always angry. When it comes in a state of futility that you've given up, it starts to turn into hate, because hate is the futility that you believe something will never change. And when the body takes that, it starts to create a destructive vibration inside of you, something that is working against you instead of for you. So whenever you feel that futility or that hate towards yourself or another person, it's a really good idea to understand where and why that was created, who is it related to, and begin to see that it can be changed. A lot of this stuff comes from childhood, that we're in a pattern with our mother or our father or a sibling or a situation, and we become unconscious about it, but the futility and the hate is there, and we've been avoiding it so long that we've forgot about it. But there it is, right there. And so addressing it, and the thing is that people miss about this is they had they can release and resolve these things. They're in their childhood, and generally they are adults. So I want to show this. Welcome, Lizette Torres. I had a profound, spontaneous, and spiritual awakening 4 years ago after being an atheist my whole life, 52 years. There's no way to explain it, but I didn't know anything about spirituality or higher consciousness. Sometimes it happens. Usually there's something there that takes us over, a learning experience. And the most important thing to know and to ask yourself is like, what did I learn from this? You know, if we get that about what the lesson was that we did, then we start to step up and move on. And that's what we want to do, is move up and move on to the next level. So what is not love? Thank you, Lizette. What is not love? Again, consumption as a path to fulfillment. People think that they get the right radio or the right clothes, or they look good, or they are doing all of these things or consuming all of these things, that life is good. Those are just diversions. And I think it's one of the things in this world that confront us the most is, and there's one of the biggest mistakes people make, is like a better car, a better relationship, a better house, better food, a better job, better this, better that will fulfill us. And that's just not the case at all. Fulfillment begins inside, and it begins developing the vibration of love inside of you. All of this stuff is great. I just bought a new pickup a year ago, and I enjoy riding it and driving it. And, you know, but it doesn't make me different. This is wonderful with Liz. I was in a bliss stage for, wow, I get that. Is that sometimes when you jump to a level of a higher vibration or next one, you've been working on stuff, you have a experience where um, you you jump. You jump and it feels wonderful. It feels totally expansive, and you feel like you'll never be the same again. This is the product of a lot of wanting to evolve, changing, doing the work that changes you. And it's very different for everybody. I was just talking to a friend on the show last week, Carl Finch, who serves other people by playing music. And there was this one point that he had this big change. It was what I would call an initiation. And that was the big jump for him. And we don't know, but the more that we get on our life path, that this is the right path for us, it is a labor of love. And there's always that possibility you're going to enjoy those type of intense spiritual experiences where you make big jumps and it feels like ecstasy, bliss, for a period of your life. Uh, this is what one of the most fun things about consciousness is. Um, so, what is not love? Safety through obtaining physical gratification and arousal. This does not make you complete. It doesn't make you safe. Safety is an energy. Safety is a feeling that everything's complete in your world. For me, the more that I'm evolving and the more that I'm doing spiritual work and changing, this creates safety in me. We could all go out and die tomorrow, but that's nothing to fear. Um, to me, what is the fear is that I didn't find all the answers I wanted to find in this lifetime. I didn't evolve enough. That's a big concern. However, if I am constantly moving and evolving, almost like going in an upward spiral in life, and if you're always feeling you're in the upward spiral, you're going to be on the path of love. You're evolving. Evolving always reassures you that everything will be fine in your life. You may hit these bumps in the road where everything stops, but you still got to keep the spiral going because it will eventually be stronger than whatever the bump in the road is. What is it? The whole world's having a bump in the road and we're all scared. This is how you deal with it, is keep bringing more energy. Another what is love is using anger as a tool to obtain, control, blame, judge, all of these things. Anger is an energy to change something that is dissatisfying. That's all it is. And when we start to use anger like, I got to get this done, or this is really not right in my life and it's bothering me, you use the anger to move you, to get something done, to resolve it the best way you can. And then when that's done, you move on. You move on to a higher place. So it's always good when you are angry and you've done those steps and you're still angry, is to continually look about, well, what else did it trigger in me? What things from my past are triggered in this situation that were similar that I did not resolve? That's anger is a really funny energy because everybody's doing it, but nobody's allowing it. The world runs a lot on anger, and we have anger against anger, anger confronting anger. And the real question to ask is, what's it triggering in me? And how can I learn to learn that lesson, learn to detach from it, and move on to something that's more whole and fulfilling? because that's how we evolve beyond it. That's how we hope others evolve beyond their angers, by being a better vibration. Okay, so I like this part is about what's loved, what is not love. To be entertained. It's almost like the opposite of growth. It doesn't mean that you can't go to movies or watch football games or whatever, but you have to be clear that this is not fulfillment. This will not change and lead you to another place. Um, it's just entertainment. Things like creativity, play, love requires interaction. That didn't come out right, did it? Um, what is opposite of entertainment is learning how to play your own life and play in your own life and grow in those types of play. Play is so important. We could learn from children. We don't have to be childlike as an adult. We have to learn what our own forms of play are. What is our own forms of creativity? And one of the best things you can do if you do something, if you feel excited, more energized when you do it, it's probably right for you to do more of it, because that will help you on that path. Play and creativity are not exactly love itself. They're kind of like cousins to love. And they help facilitate it by enlivening you to that place. And so, we're always opening from that place. And one more from Lizette Horace. Anger and suffering can lead to an awakening. It's so true, because anger and suffering do that. And Phyllis Means says, loving that part of self that feels unlovable is a challenge. It needs compassion. And it's so true. We need to see those places that we don't feel whole and complete, that are empty, and understand why, and begin forming a new energy. The one thing we do not want to do is avoid it or repress it more. The thing is that the more you repress something, you use part of your energy to do that, your innate power, so to speak. And that energy could be used to creating something really great in your life, or an energy to attract things that can help facilitate your life. And that's really, how we manifest and create that with that away. So great comments. And I am not going to even get through all of what is not love. One thing I like to end with is about what I see a lot in the world is narcissism, is people that really have an unfillable part inside of themselves and are always looking for attention. They're always looking to have the great story. They can be great storytellers, and they want everybody to attract to them. But the thing is that they're trying to fill something up inside of them through everybody else's approval, and also through wealth or through material possessions and gains. And the cure to narcissism is learning what is unwhole inside of you and start to give it a different perspective. Learn why, but start to fill it up with your own love, done energetically or vibrationally. This is how we learn how to resolve narcissism, because no one can cure us of narcissism. And we have a lot of it in this country with people that are looking for approval, attention, confirmation, gifts of all kinds from others so they can confirm that they're okay. That's not how love works. And kind of like narcissism is almost the opposite of love. We're trying to get it from somebody else, When the thing is, we have plenty of love inside of us. We just had to feed it to the places that are lacking and understand why they're lacking and give it that vibration. So whenever you can, get in touch with your heart. Get in touch with your body and feel that vibration that is higher and lighter. Go to power spots that are a higher vibration. Go to churches. Go to places in nature that make you feel good and whole. Sit at a tree and feel the vibration of the tree, or sit on the earth and feel the vibration of the earth. These are all higher vibrations than what your mind and your ego are running in your life, most likely. So when you learn those vibrations, you start to learn what love can be. It's all a vibration, folks. So I really appreciate everybody being here today, being a part of this celebration of the 100th show, and just thanking everybody and wishing everybody much love, love around the world. Just think of your heart being as big as the world and expanding it out. And now just fill that perspective all with light. Your own light of love going all the way around the world. It's a visualization, and anybody can visualize the vibration of their heart going as big as the world, and nothing but light in their heart is coming out to connect with everybody on the planet. We can all do it. And what it does to you is confirm that you're really that big. You're really that complete. And thank you, Phyllis and Lizette. And I hope to see everybody next week, as we will have another show on becoming quantum conscious. And until then, have a great day with lots of love.